Should Toyota build a mini Tacoma? Let's talk about it. Well, good afternoon, everybody. What? Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. So what do you think? Should Toyota build a mini Tacoma? Well, there's a few reasons why, yes, I think they definitely should. But before we get into it, if you're new, or maybe you haven't before, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. So the big question, should Toyota build a mini Tacoma? You know, I may not have been much for that up until I purchased one myself, a mini truck. This Hyundai Santa Cruz sitting out here in the driveway. You know, I thought I'd jump in. They seem to be the latest and greatest, the hottest thing right now. Ford is selling so many Mavericks, you can't even order one anymore. They have halted orders. Ford is selling so many Mavericks right now, you can't even order one. They have halted the ordering process until somewhere towards the end of this year. So I think it's evident that there is a market for them and people are interested. But what would this truck be? Well, I would suggest that they kind of go back to the beginning, kind of look at some of the original, older, smaller Toyota Tacomas, because let's face it, the Tacoma has grown. It has enlarged over the years. And I think they have a perfectly good design out there that they could go ahead and utilize, dust off the dirt, and bring it back to us. So it would be a 4-cylinder, obviously. I don't think we're going to see a 6 or an 8, wouldn't that be something, in a mini truck. A 4-cylinder, it would be a turbo, I'm sure. Plenty of power. You know, I was a bit skeptical about the power that you would have with a 4-cylinder in a truck, in any truck, really. And that's probably because way back when they first came out, minus the turbo, they were pretty gutless. Not a lot of power, not a lot of quickness, really more utilitarian, I suppose. You could use them for small loads, you know, run into the store on the weekends, whatever, but they weren't a lot of fun to drive. Well, now, with the popularity, I guess, of the turbo and the advancements made in it, I think it'd be a great idea to put one in a mini Tacoma. That would be awesome, and I think it would be fun to drive and plenty of power. And I'm basing this on my experience with the Hyundai Santa Cruz that I just got. They have to keep it light. There's no reason it needs to be heavy, and that might be part of the reason why they were so gutless way back in the day, because they were all steel. I would put as much lightweight material in it as possible. I would keep the composite bed. It seems to work just fine in the Tacoma. I've had several of them. I've never had a problem. And then I would utilize today's hybrid materials, if you will. Much lighter steel, aluminum, stuff like that. You know, in the Santa Cruz that I have, it has an aluminum tailgate. You know, in the Santa Cruz that I have, there is an aluminum tailgate. That thing is so light, you can maneuver it with your pinky. Not so in this version of the Tacoma. It's pretty darn heavy, I've noticed, after having the lighter version. Just something to reduce the amount that the engine, that 4-cylinder turbo, has to pull around. Other things like an aluminum hood, maybe aluminum side panels. Keep in mind, this is more of a city type truck. Something that, again, seems to be very popular given what's happening with the Ford Maverick. Increased fuel economy. You know, it's so funny when you talk about fuel economy. You know, people always get on you. It's a truck. It's not supposed to get good gas mileage. I'll drive it even if it gets 2 miles per gallon. Yeah, right. Sure you will. Gas is $6 a gallon. You're going to drive a truck that gets 2 miles per gallon. Yeah, I kind of doubt it. So fuel economy obviously is a concern. And if you go with a smaller, lighter truck with a more efficient 4-cylinder turbo, you can't help but increase the fuel economy. I would think we'd be looking at somewhere in the probably mid to high 30 mile per gallon without going hybrid. it would be awesome in the Toyota Tacoma, the mini Toyota Tacoma. You need to stay in the off-road market though. I mentioned it would be a city truck, but realistically, it seems like Toyota is going more that direction with the current Tacoma. They're going to put a 4-cylinder turbo in the new Tacoma. They're not going to reduce the size. And they're going to make it probably more based on what we've seen with the Tundra. It's going to be lower. It's not going to be quite as capable off-road. They could fill that niche, I believe, with a smaller mini Toyota Tacoma. Give it the 4-cylinder engine with the turbo. It would be plenty good for off-roading, and the smaller size would make it more capable. Would it take a bite out of the Jeep Wrangler? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But definitely they need to keep something out there that the off-roaders can still enjoy. And I don't think we're going to get that in the next version of the current Toyota Tacoma. The last thing I would shove into it is technology. I would redesign that thing from the radio up. They need to put in the latest and greatest, and not only that, it needs to be sleek. It needs to be integrated. It needs to fit well in the truck. I think it needs to be eye-popping. It needs to be catchy. Something that when people get in, they're not going to think they're still back in the early 2000s. Kind of what we have in the current Tacoma. And there's nothing wrong with it. The gamble, I suppose, for Toyota in doing something like that is improving or putting in the latest and greatest tech, of course, is going to be reliability. But I don't know that reliability is quite as important as it used to be for everybody. I've seen, and it's been surprising to me really, with a lot of the comments and things, and even trucks that I see around my area, folks seem to trade them in often. So they're not being kept as long. Now, I know there are people out there who do keep them for the long haul, but that's a whole different topic, I suppose. So it seems that everybody's trading them in every 2 to 3 years anyway, and that's within the warranty period. So anything that might go wrong, granted, it's a pain to have to screw around with it, sit at the dealership, wait for parts and all of that, but it isn't going to cost you any money. And I think most people probably fall into that category these days. They're not keeping them for the long haul. So Toyota might have to refocus their direction a little bit in what they're doing with their trucks and why. Again, reliability is great. The thing does have to run, but it seems folks are willing to put up with these little quirky things that I hear are happening in a lot of the trucks out there because they're selling. People are buying them. So I would load it up. I would load it up with the latest and greatest, make it flashy, make it eye-catching, and jump into the mid-size market, and jump into the mini truck market, because I don't think it's going anywhere, and I think it's an opportunity for Toyota maybe to grab a little bit more. They have the bigger Tacoma if people want something a little more capable without going to a full-size truck, and then of course they have the Tundra for that. Anyway, the question was, should Toyota even build a mini Tacoma? And my answer is yes, I think they should. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Would you be interested in a mini Tacoma? Maybe sort of based on the original Tacomas? I'd be curious to know. Also, if you didn't in the beginning, make sure you smash that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. I do have 2 additional channels, RobMotive JT, all about the Jeep Gladiator, and RobMotive MT, all about mini trucks. My current one is the Hyundai Santa Cruz. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not consider subscribing? Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.